hell is that noise? Monster Hunter Wilds? Gaijin! Shields up, Ironbreakers. Welcome back to another episode of the Third Fleet Podcast. I genuinely do not know what episode this is. I think it's either 77 or 80, but I'm sure it'll be on the title. This is a very impromptu recording here because we had the reveal yesterday of Monster Hunter Wilds.
Today in Japan, at least.
Oh yeah, today in Japan, I guess. First and foremost, we haven't done this in a while. It's like, as me and Gaijin, we keep in touch, but I forget that you guys don't hear from Gaijin for so long. So how have you been doing, Gaijin?
I exist, so no, I'm okay. Like, we always talk about old man stuff when we start, and I'm fighting a cold. So if I sound like I've got something stuffed up my nose or something, or if I cough, you know why. But these are good. It's getting towards the end of the year, so it's been busy, but, I can't complain.
It's most definitely the Two Old Man podcast because you have, you're fighting your cold. I'm fighting some kind of a stomach bug that I got, which might even be viral. So I'm in isolation right now, and I just feel terrible. I don't feel good at all. But I still forced myself to do the live stream yesterday for the Game Awards. I always do the Game Awards because it's one of those things where a lot of people, they say that they don't like the show and they say that the show is too long and, whatever. And to me, it's just a fun thing to watch, regardless of who wins, who loses. It's just a fun thing to watch. But one of the things that I did not expect was, number one, to get Monster Hunter, because even though I put on the title, hey, maybe Monster Hunter 6, I did not know that was going to happen. So I wasn't really expecting it. I mean, I kind of feel like we called it in previous podcasts, though. We did say that this would be the best stage for them to unveil a new one.
To do a sneak preview, so to say, just to announce it, reveal it. And I think once Dragon's Dogma 2 was announced for March, we were both like, okay, this is definitely not coming out in the next year, because they've got to keep it clear for Dragon's Dogma. I would have thought that they would be aiming for spring for some information on it, but I guess it's just really bad timing that they're releasing Dragon's Dogma 2 right on top of the anniversary for Monster Hunter. So it's like you don't want to take away all the energy of the release of Dogma 2 to be talking about a new Monster Hunter. So I guess it made perfect sense for them to just get it out now, say that they're not going to be talking about it in the spring, which is ballsy, and say it's going to be a summer. At least it takes the focus off of it for now, and lets us talk and discourse and get hyped. But it keeps everybody grounded, right? We know it's not coming out next year. You could spend your hard-earned money on Dragon's Dogma 2. You can play it all year. You're not going to have any schedule conflicts with Monster Hunter 6. It's all good.
You're not going to have schedules with Monster Hunter, but you're going to have plenty of schedule conflicts with other things. But
yeah. Hey, it is what it is.
There's tons. 2024 is shaping out to be a pretty great year as well from all of the news that we heard. But one of the things that I got to ask is so considering that they said we're only going to be talking about this game in summer, but the anniversary for Monster Hunter is going to be in March.
Yep.
So what are they going to be talking about in March?
Monster Hunter now?
Oh, no. God, no. Not like this.
Not like this.
No, it got me wondering if you think it is, again, this is something that they would have never done before. A potential HD remaster of one of the old games. I mean, they've been doing
really
them
think
to
they
Resident Evil. They've been doing it to Resident Evil, man. It's time to prop up that RE engine and give us Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. Let's go.
I mean, they should, yeah. I agree. At this point, like, they know they've already broken mainstream, right? So they know that World and Rise of Sunbreak and the next big one are going to be mainstream, popular, big games, so they can let it cook. They don't have to worry about some weird, obscure, niche, kind of old Monster Hunter getting out there and then there being confusion over, oh, this is what the series is? Well, it's not my thing. Because, it's been dispelled, so I think it's the perfect time for them to, I don't care if they outsource it, just like give the fans something for the anniversary. I think it would be perfect to do like even if they make a concession and say, you know what, I think it should be on all consoles, but they say, we'll just do it for the Switch or whatever. I don't care. I think they really should do
something for 4 Ultimate,
something, right? I think 4 Ultimate would be a good title. I think 3
out of all of the monsters,
but
yeah, of course. But out of
if you're
going
to choose one, 4 Ultimate is the
yeah,
one.
4 Ultimate is the one to choose. I agree.
And I think an anniversary sort of thing, just say, hey, we're gonna release this, would be kind of cool. But again, Dragon's Dogma coming out in March.
I mean, here's the thing: they don't have to release.
It'd be cool
it.
to announce. They don't
have to release it in March, but they could announce. Oh, by the way, I don't know, fall 2024. Boom, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate returns. I think that would be amazing. But this is purely conjecture. There's nothing that points towards this, right?
There's 2 other things I would nothing, yeah, and there's other things that I would. I mean, the only thing is now we can speculate like crazy because we know that Monster Hunter Wilds won't be there.
Yeah.
I think, they'll probably do a bigger blowout for like the US anniversary, but like for the Japanese one, no. So it makes me think, I'm like, if they're not going to do, I'm sure they're going to have some type of product, right? It can't just be consumer goods and like an anniversary video that they'll strike everybody for using. Like, it's got to be something, right? So like, I'm thinking, like Stories 3 would be awesome. Yes, please. I don't know how Stories 2 sold, though.
I think it's a little bit early for Stories 3, no? Stories 2,
I don't know.
Was it like...
I mean,
it
depends on how much
It
depends on how much they want to cook when it comes to Wilds, which we'll get into. But, like, I don't think it... is it going to be a January or a November release, basically? I don't see it being anywhere in between that. But, I mean, who knows? But it depends on where they want it to fall, right? So I think they're probably going to be looking at investor impressions. Obviously, they're probably gauging where they're at in development. They're still in the middle of it. I mean, it's far along, but it's not like super far along. So
we'll have to.
I don't know.
Have to see, but it's
I still say I really want Feline Village Deluxe, a new one. I adored that game. Like, seriously,
that was the one that was made by From Software, right?
Yeah, and if Bandai Namco can't fund a proper budget or schedule to get Elden Ring DLC out, fill the gap. Come on, give us Feline Village Deluxe remastered.
See,
HD.
I was actually relieved that they didn't announce Elden Ring DLC at the Game Awards, and I know that people are gonna fall on top of me because they don't understand. A lot of people don't understand the creator struggle that is when you have 2 games right on top of each other, and it sucks because you want to enjoy one, but you need to cover both, and it's just like a complete and absolute hassle.
They're like, even more than Dark Souls and Bloodborne, I think the pressure on them to deliver is so high.
Oh, yeah.
Because Elden Ring's success is, I mean, it's got to be their best-selling game yet, right? I don't know. I never looked at the figures, but...
I don't know, but I would assume it would be pretty close to that, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, they can afford to take the time to cook it right.
Yeah, and it's like, again, I was just happy that it's not releasing in that February-March zone because there's a lot of games that I want to play in that zone. And as a matter of fact, like yesterday they announced Rise of Ronin at the exact same release date as Dragon's Dogma 2, which Rise of Ronin is kind of like Neo almost. It's by Koei Tecmo as well. And I was like, oh, really? Literally same day? Sorry. Dragon's Dogma. Dragon's Dogma, man. It's that Dragon's Dogma. But getting back to Monster Hunter Wilds. So
yes.
Number 1, that thing got the most prestigious spot of the Game
Oh yeah,
Awards. Which
right after all the advertisements and everything, right before the final award.
Yeah, for people that don't know, like that, when you have these types of shows, usually you have the two. I would say that the two most important games the people organizing the show, the two most important games that they usually consider is like the first one. And the Game Awards usually, I feel like they don't pay that much attention to the first one. It's usually not that big a deal, but traditionally in most shows, like
The
say for
final
instance
announcement, yeah.
Nintendo Direct and that type of stuff, you usually get the first game, which is usually an important one, and then the last one, which is the most important one. And for
It's the
Monster
Steve Jobs
Hunter
method,
Yeah.
One more thing.
and Monster Hunter Wilds being the final thing to be shown
That's big.
right before the game of the year, bro, that was huge. Massive.
That's called visibility.
Yeah, that because like that's what they consider this is the most important announcement that we have for you. Boom, here you go. And
I don't know
was
if you
massive.
caught it when he was on the stage with Jeff Keighley, who was his makeup artist is amazing. Like, because I know the man's old now, and like you see pictures of him and he's aged, but like on stage he looks like he was 20
he
years
looks
ago.
young.
Like,
Yeah.
his makeup artist is amazing. My God, but like there was an interesting tonal thing that he had going on with his word choice. Because he was like, so when are we going to be able to play it? Like, I mean, he was egging it on like there was going to be a demo or something coming out. Like, I'm like, what? What is he talking about? Like, when? So you're going to tell them when they can get their hands on this? I'm just like, wait, what? Is he talking about a demo or something? Because he saw it. Apparently, they invited him to play it in September, and he was like super blown away. I don't know whether he got the wrong impression because maybe they had a really strong demo with him, and then it's months later, so he's thinking, "Hey, man, people are going to be able to get an early hands-on with this thing." But like, it was a really weird, and they completely ignored him when they answered in Japanese. Like they glossed right over it and just said their PR message.
Yeah,
But, like,
I noticed. I definitely noticed there was a disconnect between the question that was asked and the actual response, because the trailer clearly
It was
says
a weird question.
Yeah, the trailer clearly says 2025. And then, oh man, tell us more. When are people going to be able to get their hands on it? And basically, they do a PR
when are we
thing,
going to be able to play it?
And it's like 2025. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was really awkward, but maybe he was just tired. But
so that actually got me.
So like I was going to ask
thinking.
you, like, how long into the trailer did it take you to notice and really like go, oh, okay, that's Monster Hunter? But you noticed so fast, it was ridiculous.
I mean, no, it was for me. I'm assuming you watched
your
my
live
stream. Yeah. So for me, the way that it went was like the first picture I saw, I was like, it's Monster Hunter. It's 100% Monster Hunter. Like literally the first frame, you can see that my face goes, ugh. And then the problem was the music.
It
is very really different. It was very different to start. So when the music started kicking up, I was like,
even midway, I was like,
No,
maybe
when
it's
the music,
not.
Yeah, when the music kicked up, I was like, oh, that's not Monster Hunter because of the music. And then eventually, you see the frontal shot of the hunter riding the thing, and I was like, nope, that's Monster Hunter. Yep, that's 1,000,000%. There's no question about it. So yeah, so my face goes like, It's like just getting completely excited about it. Yeah. I was actually just thinking now, because you were saying that Jeff could potentially be thinking about people getting their hands on the game. Could that maybe symbolize that they have like beta plans or something? I was thinking about how long it was since the first beta in Monster Hunter World and the eventual release, but I'm just looking at some really old picture because I don't know what those dates were.
That was more of
was like a
sales
month
measure than anything.
Yeah, it was more like a month apart. So
yeah, maybe he was just high.
Yeah, I don't know what was happening there, but yeah, I'm just in the camp of let them cook. I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh my God, 2025." It's like, bro, it's not like we don't have a ton of stuff to play. There's so many things to play. It's insane, and it's like just let them cook.
It's good to see that Sony didn't put their damn grubby hands all over it to get some like year exclusive with PC coming later. Like, I'm so sick of that. At this point,
they said it. Some people were actually asking, "Oh, they did announce PC, but PC might come later." And I was like, "No, because they've said it in the past. Like there was some interview that they've said
PC is their their top COO is like that's their main leading platform, and that's what's selling the most."
And I think,
and they have PC, Xbox SX, and PS5, and you know, by 2025, not only I think they have like the successor now to the RE engine, right? So like things are getting mature, so they're going to be able to do a lot. Like I could tell from the trailer,
The
at least like with
successor?
performance and stuff. I thought they had a successor to the RE engine, like a new version of it.
I mean, there might be a new version, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like 2025 is going to be a mature year for the current consoles. I know it doesn't feel like they've been out for long, but
Yeah.
that's the nature of the last 5 years or whatever. So like, I think it's going to be a good time. Like I think the tech will be brushed up. They'll be able to optimize the living hell out of it. And it'll be a good excuse to update your PC
Oh,
around that time if you
I've
want.
already prepared. I'm ready. Let's go. My
I
PC is
know
good to go, dude.
you are good.
Dude, that computer gave me so many problems. You have no idea. So like, apparently DDR5, you cannot, even though the board will sit 4 DIMMs of RAM, you're not supposed to use 4 DIMMs of RAM on DDR5. It's
Used to,
unstable.
right?
You're just
Yeah.
supposed to do. I was like, bro, what the hell? Why does it have 4 slots then? That's so dumb. It's like you put 4 slots in there. I'm gonna budget accordingly. Like, what do you mean? But yeah. Anyway, so first thing, I think this is like the biggest question of all, and that we don't really have an answer. We can speculate on it, but open world,
Cross save. Oh, okay.
open
That's the
world.
question.
Before cross save and crossplay, open
You know
world.
what? I realized that when I made my video and I also said open world, I said it correctly, but I think in the last 2 years I've been playing over 6,200 hours of FF14. I would adore a Monster Hunter MMO like where there's organic meeting up with other players and hunters going on quests. I would love it. However, I think what they're showing us, at least what I'm feeling, is more akin to taking the guiding lands concept and really just blowing it the hell out.
Yeah.
Like it looks like it's like one really big area with all the biomes connected that you can go to and probably fast travel. But it's probably gonna be like, guiding lands, the game. Like not the game system, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
with the connections. And then have every other biome have like this weird, what do you call it? Like weather slash system that will change the dynamics of how things are done. Lots of environmental stuff, which I'm excited for. Like stuff that you can't control or you can only limitedly control, I think is awesome. Like the thing that I didn't like about like World, some of the traps in the Clutch Claw, like they were so intentional. You triggered all of them. So there really wasn't any adapting. It was just you pounding the living hell out of a monster. Now, if there's some adaptation going on, that's pretty cool. But it
I
does make me wonder because like you've got like if you got a big field with lots of monsters, like you saw how many small monsters were on the screen. I think there was like
Yep.
50 on one
I
time.
have the
I'm
trailer
like,
playing on loop.
how long is
right
it going to
next
take
me.
to carve all that shit?
Yeah, if you're
You
gonna if
know,
you're gonna be
A-
farming all of them, yeah. But
and
it's
and
probably
also
gonna
the
be.
focus should be large monsters. So I mean, like it'll be interesting. I have no idea. What do you think it'll be like?
I I don't know, cause like in a lot of ways, I'm looking at the trailer and I'm like, yep, it definitely feels like it's gonna be open world, which would be the main reason, like why one of the focuses of this trailer, you have to say it's the mount. It is definitely the mount. So they're focusing on
Oh yeah,
showing you're going to have this reasonably fast reversal method. You're going to be able to glide. You're going to be able to
jump,
run.
glide.
You're going to be able to do all of these things. And so that to me instantly says scale, because you don't do a system like that just to run around a small map like in Rise or
Yeah,
Sunbreak, right? You don't really do a mount like that to do that. Even though they experimented with the tail riders in Iceborne, this feels much more how should I put it?
integral to the game design.
Integral, but also there's another word that I wanted to when you something is very intentful. Damn it, I'm missing the word. It's look, I was up until 5 in the morning. I blame Jeff Keighley.
Critical
Whatever.
center stage.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
It's
know.
it's
Yeah, I
it's
know what you're saying.
it definitely feels like it's much more of a center stage thing that this mount is going to provide you with a lot of means of traversal, but also means to carrying stuff. Like you see the little
Uh-huh.
sleeping bag on the back, the kind
Yeah,
of
the
kind of
camp
probably
stuff, right?
the camp stuff. You'll probably be able
I'm
to
looking
like
at
set
the
up
bow
camp.
gun, and I want to know how we have a great sword user running around with a damn bow gun.
Yeah,
That
that
has
is
piqued my interest.
that is somebody that has fallen from grace, which is why they're now.
They've put away the weapon that is bored, and
I
they
had to
now
do it.
have the good one on their back, right?
Shout out to Famito and Nangbata. I have to put them down, man. My bowgun brethren, they have to take a little bit of flack for having such a good weapon.
No, it's called fluid difficulty. You have easy mode in the bag, and then you've got normal mode on your back, and you can switch between them on the fly
But
to
the
adjust
thing
to
is, they wouldn't even
your needs.
disagree.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
yeah, you're right.
you put in the work, and it's certainly satisfying. I'll say that.
When it comes to the multiple weapon stuff, do you think it's going to be just a bowgun, or do you? Because like, I don't see that
I
bag
put on my tinfoil
holding,
hat.
I don't see that bag
A
holding like
hammer,
a full on
encyclopedia.
weapon. Yeah.
I want it to be. I don't. I agree. I don't see it being that, or it might be. I don't know what it is. It's got my interest, but like
I saw a comment, I think it was from Chaos Slayer, and he was saying that maybe this bowgun's more like a tool that assists with navigation potentially.
oh god,
Not
do you
not
think it might be one of those scenes like Horizon or like Wild Hearts where
a
it's like
trip caster
a
or whatever.
tripwire thing? I don't want that. I
I
don't
mean,
want that.
I'm not against that, but I don't think it would be that. No, because it just feels like it's a bowgun. Maybe the bag
Yeah.
changes dynamically if you have another weapon in there. Maybe it's just kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
now it's just a strap that holds your hammer or something
Yeah.
along those lines. I don't know where
'Cause
you'd
I'll be honest,
carry. I don't
I
know where
thought the
you'd carry
swap
like
scrolls
a.
were fun.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry, go ahead. No, you go ahead first.
Okay, I was just saying, like, I'm not exactly sure where they're going to be putting a gun lance's shield if it's like the secondary weapon. Like, I don't know where you'd put that in the mount. Like, I don't think you'd be able
Yeah.
to carry that thing. But go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I like the skill swap system was one idea of how to add complexity and variety to
Yeah.
a weapon, and I can change up my scrolls
Wait,
depending on who I'm fighting. But it's
Skill swap or scroll swap?
the same thing to me.
No. Skill
Oh,
swap.
come on.
No, because skill swapping, I'm talking about the thing where you could switch the skills.
Oh, no. Well, scroll
Yeah.
swap. Sorry.
Scroll swapping. Yeah. Okay.
So like, to me, that was just way too much mechanical complexity to it. I think it would be really cool because I mean, the end of the day, you're going out and you're fighting one monster. Like, I mean, not that many people go out and fight multiple monsters, right? They might if the game is open world and there's incentives to never have to go back to a camp or just make a camp
Maybe
where you're
extra
at.
rewards or something.
I really want. I think a good way to add variety is just let us have two damn weapons that we can swap between, even on the fly. I don't even care if it doesn't make sense.
See, I've been thinking about that because I did that video where I talked about like my one of the features that I definitely would like to see, which is kind of like hunts that take multiple stages, whatever. So I made a video about that, and I was thinking, okay, what would be the exact opposite of that? Because I know that some people want it fast. They want the Devil May Cry of Monster Hunter. There's a lot of people that want that, and so while I was thinking about it, I was saying I think that the next logic, which is interesting because I never made a video talking about this, but I remember thinking the next logical step, if you're going to speed it up more, is to have two weapons and be able to swap between two weapons. And now in the trailer, we see two weapons in the thing, which kind of like tells me that they're still going a bit the route of more fast-paced action and not as much the more methodical hunts that of the older games. What do you think about that?
I mean, I pointed it out, but like, he's got what looks like a compartmentalized, like abbreviated version of the slingshot, the slinger,
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, that's interesting, and also like the cage for the scout bugs, the scout flies,
Yeah.
is on the hunter as well. So like, I mean, going back to camp and being able to swap to any weapon is already a part of the game, right? So like, but it's like always going back to your hub and doing it. That's what takes you out of like I'm in the middle of a hunt. I've taken X amount of potions. I'm deep in, like, I'm gonna see this thing through. Like, if you really want to get, not survival, but if you want to get into like that hunting thing, like the whole plan and go out, the way to do it would be to let us have two weapons.
That actually,
I think.
yeah. As a matter of fact, because we're thinking, for instance, at least I've been thinking of it like two different weapons. Like, in the trailer you have the great sword and the bow gun, but what if it also allows you to take two of the same weapon?
Two elements.
So you can just go like, okay, I mean, even
Pierce,
for say no, let's put it like this. I think that Baroth is water, and then is it fire or ice? I forget when the mud is gone. I think it's fire. I'm not 100% sure.
Fire, yeah.
Yeah, so it's water and fire. So you're fighting a Baroth, and you bring your
awesome.
your water weapon, and you're like, okay, clean out the mud. No mud. You're able to just run up to the mount or call the mount over, and there's like maybe a special move where you just like stow one weapon, pull out the other one mid combat, and then go after the monster with a different element. That is exciting.
I'm telling you, I don't even care if they break the believability and you literally just the model disappears and you flip out a new weapon. I don't care. I want more than one weapon. I really do.
Yeah, sure.
Because if you're gonna make me, if it's a hassle, then people will just not do it, or they'll just go back to camp.
That's fine.
Refresh all their potions, then change their weapon, and then there's no difference to what we have.
What if there's no camp though? Because you have like all of the makings of the camp on your mount. What if you actually have to choose the things that you take extra? So there's stuff that you have on yourself.
I like that.
And then there's some extra supplies in the mount.
Ah, that'd be cool. Like if you did like an expedition where you're leaving the HUD town for a long time, and you get in there and you have to wait for like 10 minutes for like the weather to change, so there's an incentive to stay out in the field, or something. And then you're out there, but you've only got like a porta potty of a tent, so like you only have like say like some emergency rations and potions and one additional weapon you could swap to. That would be really intriguing.
And the thing is, if you pay attention, like, so you have the weapon on the right side, there's another bag on the left side that could be like additional supplies that you take on this.
Yeah, it looks like it's.
And then
because there's two like little pouches, and then there's a bigger pouch.
No, that
would be cool.
I
think there's a big pouch and two little white pouches.
No, because the thing in the back is like a bedroll.
Oh, the back. Sorry, I thought you
it's
said
like the bedroll,
bag,
and then there's
on
the
left
weapon
side.
pouch, and then there's a bag on the left side, I think. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, there's a bag, and then there's two white little pouches next to them. But yeah, I think that would be a cool idea. I just, with the convenience of being able to fast travel to a camp and swap out to anything, it takes away any sense of that rewarding prep. But you don't just want to take it away, because that would be restrictive. So if there's a more incentive, if you want to go out and just hunt one monster, like go for it. Like go to the camp, swap it, do it. But if you want to go out on an adventure and really see some rare stuff and go on for a more longer, 20 minutes in, this happens, like let's start going into like MMO stuff, right? Like if you kill this monster and this monster, 20 minutes later, this guy shows up, have some conditions, man.
Here we go. Gaijin going full Eureka in Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh, yeah. I think it would be sweet, wouldn't it? Can you imagine, like, if you killed, in order to get Rathalos to appear, you have to kill a Rathian or something like that? Or just like...
And then Rathalos comes in, what did you do to my wife? The hell's wrong with you?
If you kill a Rathian, he shows up, but he's, like, buffed or something, or he's, like, really... frenzied or something. I don't know.
Having some
anything that's situational would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, that sounds really good. But while we're on the topic of MMOs,
they give us nothing though. We have nothing to go on except
we have
for
very
like this
few things. But like,
it's such reaching for the stars at this moment. But
real quick, did you see that tweet from Hey Jay?
Yeah, it's your fault.
I
love the picture of like the Grim Reaper with you, and you've already cut me in pieces, and you're knocking on his door. And then he goes, what was the quote? Like, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Like, Jesus Christ. And the worst part is that...
become a G-posing Mikote.
I think that considering that next year there's no Monster Hunter... Like, potentially maybe Ratatosker. Ratatosker maybe even goes and tries 14 because he's been talking about it. It's like, everybody's going to kill me.
Think about it. The whole vibe, the whole, like, exotic jungle, like, it shares the vibe. The new expansion is going to share the same vibe with the wilds. So, like, do it. Do it.
Oh, my God. It's
a game.
So,
So
another thing... that was very striking to me, and I think it was very striking to you as well, and pretty much anybody that's ever played Monster Hunter and watches this trailer, is definitely the density. The
Oh
amount
yeah.
of like herbivores and like minor monsters is actually insane.
Yeah, I would say like from an impact standpoint, I will say that the graphical fidelity is not quite there yet, which is to be expected. Like if you go back and watch the first Monster Hunter World trailer, the reveal, versus how it looked like when it came out, like there's a big jump. But the thing that they got all that stuff moving right now, and just the amount of things, and the scale is quite crazy. Like I would take a small downgrade in order to have more
Yeah.
nuanced and crazy gameplay. Like give it to me.
It seems
But
it
I guess
seems
some
to
people are
be.
worried maybe because they'd be like, oh, I don't need 100 troops of Downs or whatever, Appentoss. I just want to have that one big monster and
But the
super
thing is,
HD.
if you pay attention, like a lot of them are running away, and if you remember, like in previous Monster Hunters, like whether that's World or Rise or even the old ones, whenever you kill one of those creatures, the other ones are going to run away.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going to be there. I'm a farm like 50 of these in one go. No, you're going to kill like two or three, and the other ones are going to run away. That's
Man, I
usually the
was
way that
just
it
looking at
goes.
the one screenshot before like the little Harags come in and go crazy. Like you've got like 30 of those armadillo thingies. I'm
Yeah.
thinking like Rory's gonna go in there with his wyvern blast and be like,
Boom!
boom.
Yeah, dude. I'm gonna wyvern fire all of them like out of existence. I'm gonna be like, guys, this is what we call efficient farming. They're all just like
Yes.
sitting there peacefully grazing, not really doing any harm, and I'm just like, yeah, Papa wants some meat. But the other interesting thing was if you notice when he's running away from the Gossarag looking dudes, there's a
Yeah.
lot of them. There's like three or four of them
There's
in
like
the
four of them,
beginning
yeah.
in the beginning shot, and then later on when he's fighting them in the storm, there's like two of them. So one of the things that came to mind when I saw that, I was like, huh, kind of like a rampage. I mean, not necessarily like a rampage, but you get the idea. Lots and lots of monsters. But then I thought about it some more, and I was like, wait, that doesn't make a lot of sense. You don't want to be fighting
Yeah.
four
I
of
don't
these
think they're I
things.
don't think those are large monsters. I think they're small monsters.
See, that's the thing. I don't think they're small monsters. I think we're getting a
Oh,
new category of monsters, which are
a
medium
stampede.
monsters. No, it's like it's going to be
Ooh.
like my thought process is we're going to get like this new category of monsters where imagine for instance when you're fighting like a great baggy. You know, he has his little small baggies and whatnot.
Yeah, give
So
him
it's
like
like
one breakable part and
no, no, but what I mean is like you have your great baggies, and he's got the little baggies around him. What is the logical reason why there's not two great baggies? It's not like the monster's too hard, so there could be two of them, and they could be like either mates or they could just be friends or whatever. You could have three of them. Imagine this in the terms of like a great jaggy as well. You can have like two or three of those as well. They're not too hard. They're just smaller monsters, but instead of fighting them one on one, you fight them in herds. So like you would fight whenever you fight a Gossarag, it's more of a three or four of them encounter, and it's like a major thing. But it would be the equivalent of one hunt of like a normal monster, like a Rathalos or something like. When I
hmm.
say Gossarag, I mean like that desert Gossarag that
Yeah.
we see in.
I think that would be a cool system, the medium. I still think that what we're seeing in the trailer is most likely
Like,
small
look, I'm
monsters, only for the fact that like you don't see developed horns on them. You know how like a lot of animals in the wild, you've got like the pure white coats, like when they're children, like penguins, they're more darker. Like they feel more adolescent to me, just the way, and the prey that they're going after is just these stupid herbivore things that are just
dude.
walking around chilling
Because this thing has been playing on loop, I just noticed something that I hadn't noticed before. They actually grab those armadillos with the mouth.
and chuck them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like,
the mouth.
holy crap. That's insane. Yeah,
Yeah, and
there's
one of them does almost like a Arzaros kind of like throws it across. They're
yeah,
just going crazy.
that was in the storm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. That's kind of like my theory
Hmm.
for the medium monsters.
Interesting. I think that would be a cool idea. I think they need to. There's plenty of opportunity to spice it up between small monster and large monster. Hmm.
We haven't really answered the question of whether or not we think it's open world. I kind of feel like we veered off at some point there.
I think open world is a hard thing to define, right? 'Cause there's
Yeah.
like there's Elden Ring, or not Elden, well, Elden Ring open world. There's like walking simulators. They're like Skyrim and stuff like that. Then there's like semi-open worlds like FF where it's like it's still
Like
zoned, but they're
Baldur's
really, really
Gate.
big.
Baldur's Gate is
Yeah,
also
but
kind
I
of like a
mean,
semi-open world. Yeah.
and Guiding Lands was kind of open world, but it was small scale. So like,
Do you
I
think
don't
that
think it'd be open
everything
world in that like your camp is like you fly over and there's like the camp or the town, right? And it's right there, and you can just leave the town, go right into the forest, and it's all living and breathing. That I think that type of MMO open
you
world,
don't think that's it?
I want it, but I don't know if that's
I
it.
actually
I
think
don't
I
want
think
it.
it might be that. Because
That
again,
would be awesome.
because of the mount. Whenever you put this much emphasis on the mount, it tells me that you're trying to go for something really ambitious, and you don't want to have like all of these loading zones or stuff like that. But I don't know how they'll
Yeah.
manipulate the state of the world, because like we also see that that moment where you referred in your video, like, oh, there's all this sandstorm stuff going on, and then it clears up and
And you
it's
get like the
golden.
ancestral steep almost, yeah.
Yeah, the ancestral steps of four.
How are
Yeah.
they gonna get that running on the Xbox Series S with its memory issues?
Oh my god, dude. I don't. Oof. Feels
Oof,
bad.
oof.
I mean,
Feels
S is
bad,
going to
man.
stream it. Microsoft's going to be like, okay, guys, at this point, you can just like put it in the cloud. Okay, it'll be in the cloud waiting for you. That's what you get. Sorry, feels bad, but we got to move on, dude. The S is holding things back a little bit. 100%.
It is. I mean, I would say
It's a good
it is.
system, but it is holding things back. Very much like
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to be on the Switch. Even on a Switch 2, I don't know if this thing would run on a Switch 2. Because like
Yeah,
I think the
I would,
Switch 2 will
not if it's the
probably
same
be.
concept of a small device,
Yeah, I
There are
think
limits.
Switch 2 will probably be targeting like PS4 level hardware, maybe a little bit more like PS4 Pro or something like that.
Yeah.
And this does not seem like the kind of game that you would want running on that.
However, there was actually a really good point brought up by John on Digital Foundry. They were having a discussion recently, and they were talking about how, getting Baldur's Gate running on the Xbox, which it just released today on Xbox. Yeah. Like it's kind of a good tool because it keeps developers in check. Because like, if they have to run it and make a version for that system, that if they have some like super high polygon banana just floating there in the tree and they didn't realize it, like it helps
They
them
have to, yeah.
optimize it, which will optimize for even the higher end systems as well. So it could be. I mean, I don't think it would run very well, but if it runs, then it probably means some good stuff for the main baseline systems, right? So it might not all be a bad thing. But yeah, next generation. I hope they don't split up memory and CPU GPU. But
Absolutely, absolutely insane. It's just
okay,
like
I gotta ask you a question because it's so tinfoil
uh
and so
oh.
stupid that I didn't even mention it in my video because people would laugh at me and call me an idiot. But when I saw that like circular thing in the middle at the end, like the
Yeah,
key visual,
looks like
I
a
was
portal
thinking
almost.
I was thinking two things. The first thought, I had to go and wash my mouth and my brain. I scrubbed it with bleach and
Oh god,
stuff like that. It was
connect
like,
to
oh my
Monster
god,
Hunter World.
the blue thunder lightning. It kind of reminds me of the movie Monster
Oh
Hunter.
no.
I was like, no, we're not going there. But then I looked at it and I realized what it was reminding me of was Uragan Alley in The Elder's Recess, where it's like the circular motions because of all those years of him rolling around on it. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
and so I started going through all the concept art. I'm like, is this taking place like before Monster Hunter World? Like, is this because it's a rudimentary slinger. It's not like a fully fledged slinger. Like, is this like
So
before the first fleet
so like a
arrived or something,
prequel?
or is this the first fleet or like a prequel? Like, is this the Elder's Recess before it like got all crystallized? I don't know. Like, that was where my brain
I
was
feel
going because
like
I you see things that look like the Wildspire Waste. You see things that look like the Elder's Recess. And
I don't think
then,
it's a prequel. I think it takes place in the new world.
yeah, I was just looking at that. It reminded me of Oregon Alley. So I was just kind of like,
No, no,
interesting.
I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense, but I don't know if that would be the case or not. But I do think it takes place in the new world. I think it does. I th-
Yeah,
do you think
I think that's a good enough assumption at this point. Because especially, I know, like, maybe people are considering it the new Monster Hunter logo, but, like, the Monster Hunter part of the logo, right? It's the same that they used for World. If the way that they displayed it, like Monster Hunter, like it looks like World, right? And then they put
Yeah.
in the subtitle, it seems incredibly intentional to call out like, hey, if you liked World or Iceborne, this is the next
It
big
even it
game.
even has a W on it as well. MHW, just like Monster
I
Hunter World.
Now we got to call it, do we call it MHWI? No, because that's World
No, you
Iceborne.
can't.
It's so you got to call it MH Wilds, which is
Yeah,
just
that's
wild.
that's the only way to do
Haha.
it. You can't do WI. They really just like, no, we're gonna mess with your SEO. Deal with it.
Either that or like someone was really upset about Wild Hearts and they're like, we need to kill all the search engine results. I don't want to have Hunter and Wild and have that game pop up because that's all that pops up right now on Google. And they're like, we're taking it over. The word wild belongs with Monster Hunter.
Oh my god, dude. That'd be the ultimate alpha move. Just like really, just put her down. We're putting them down. I mean, pour one out for Wild Hearts because it's probably not going to be receiving any
Yeah,
more
it's
support. Sucks because I
but
actually enjoyed the game a lot.
yeah. The thing I like about the logo though is like the intertwining serpents and the intertwining W
Yeah,
on the font. And I think what we're looking at could be like all the regions and maybe they all have like an extra state because of like the environment. So we have like, thunder sand tundra
Thunderstorm.
that turns into like this golden, thrush area. Like maybe all the areas have some like crazy like
I
elemental
mean, look,
or something based weather.
that's some more
It's
ammunition.
Eureka.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Some
Eureka,
more
baby.
ammunition for your Eureka theory.
It's the ethereal storms kicking up.
Oh
And there's
man.
special monsters that only appear during those storms.
So we have all of those things. All of
Oh
those
man,
states.
we have all the small monsters because you have to kill so many of the mobs to get a notorious mob to pop up.
No.
It makes total sense.
Stop.
It's Eureka. I'm swear to God, I'm gonna Photoshop like a picture of Kryle in here or something. It's gonna be
Kryle and Months in the Wilds.
great.
But like we have those lightning rods that have been placed there. Like,
Yeah,
does that mean was it us? Was it the hunters that put that there, or is that stuff from an old civilization? Maybe.
I don't know because it's kind of like the weird like Zelda like ancient like like drawing on it when you see it get hit by the lightning rod. So it looks man-made for sure, but whether it's modern or not, I think is anyone's guess. The fact that it survived that long with just like a little rock base makes me think that this is something they put up, but who knows? It's Monster Hunter. They can get away with some weird
Yeah,
stuff.
because story is usually not really the main focus.
Yeah,
But
just make it fun.
I would like to see something more akin to 4. I think 4 was able to tell a good story. I'd like to see
I
more.
think they're playing with us here. I think the whole golden yellow fields is a direct hit to say, hey, we got the same palette as Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, baby. Like it's just, it seems way too intentional. I actually went back and looked at like the rock cliffs and the vegetation, and I can assure you it's not the same location,
Oh,
but
it's not.
it certainly channels that energy, you know?
So, do you think we're going to be able to swim in this game? Underwater
Judging by
combat,
the picture I'm seeing, no, but I would.
because it's desert. It's all deserty and stuff.
I mean, look at it. It's swamp, desert. There's a snowy mountain cliffs in the background. There's the rocky, volcanic area. There's the savanna with like little rivers. I don't see. I think if swimming wasn't a big part of this thing, I think they would have showed something that hinted to it.
Mm.
But then again, it's just a reveal, so who knows?
Yeah,
Right?
again, it's just like
I
this
would
is
like it.
always wild speculation. No,
I
the
would like
wild
it.
thing,
I think.
the wild thing about Monster Hunter Wilds is the amount of speculation the community is going to be
Oh yeah.
doing for 2024. We're going to be speculating on so many different things.
Like
It's gonna be insane.
if we want to go back to this open world idea where you have a village, but if you go out and it's Eureka, right? There's like lots of. I'm sorry for all you guys who don't play Final Fantasy 14. I really am, but you're getting the idea probably already. But like, if there's incentive for going out on expeditions that are, longer excursions and preparing for it, it would be pretty cool if even if the swimming is just a transitional element. Can you imagine going to like the far back end, swimming down a river, sort of like in Monster Hunter 3U, like when you went to that little cave with Laggy in
Yeah.
the back. And like, if you died, it'd be quite a trek back. Like it's gonna be like a good minute or two. So like you don't want to die. And like you adventure and you go through these areas and under the water into some hidden cavern where you fight this monster. I think that would be awesome because those scenes, there was always the fear of getting not sent back to camp because you could fail the quest, but because it takes so damn long to get back to the
To get back
the
to where you
arena.
were. Yeah.
So like that was a legit concern. It wasn't just about the potions. So you would heal just thinking I want to play it safe because I worked my butt off to get here. Like I'm not
Initially,
dying.
initially, I even thought that this was potentially like not Monster Hunter 6. I considered that for a while. At the
I
when
considered that it wasn't Monster Hunter. I'll be honest. When I first saw it, my first gut instinct was Monster Hunter. I held my breath
no,
because I didn't want to disappoint myself. The motion of the monsters, you know what I'm talking about, like the Monster Hunter feel of like how the
yeah,
monsters move, like there's just a thing. I felt it, but my idiot, because I was so involved with doing some other stuff on the side when they were announcing everything, like I was scatterbrained. So when I saw the thunder, I looked over and I just caught a glimpse of it, and I thought it was machines and electricity. So I'm like, oh no, this is like
and
Horizon or
especially
some Monster Hunter clone.
especially with the because the music, like we talked about, the music, the
It doesn't
beginning,
sound.
yeah, it sounds very high tech, which kind of sets the stage for I don't know, maybe a more advanced Monster Hunter almost, because they're able to harness maybe
I
a bit
mean,
more
everything
technology.
looks
Who
really
knows?
analog here, though,
Yeah, but
which I
like I was
like.
saying, the thing that because like I saw the whole trailer, and by the end of it, I was like, I don't know if this is Monster Hunter 6 because
Yes, it
it
is.
feels. I mean, yes,
But
after
I know
thinking
what you're
about it for
saying.
a while, because like it's 5 in the morning, I'm watching this thing, and I'm just like. Oh, I don't know, man. It looks like a single player game. But then, you start thinking, wait a minute. It's like, look, this is the cap off presentation of the friggin' Game Awards, bro. Like,
Yeah,
they're not going to use that to announce a spin off. It's not happening.
they're
So,
just giving you a little taste.
yeah, but I initially I thought that it could potentially be a spin-off, mostly because of the way in which they showed stuff. It almost made me think that it was a single player game.
You're saying before we saw the name and the logo, of course.
No, no. Even after seeing the name and the logo, it made me think,
What?
man, it
But
looks like a single player game.
you got the six heads.
Yeah, I
It's like
know.
very clearly Monster Hunter 6.
I know. I know. I know.
But
I
I
know.
know, but you know what? That's a good sign. The fact that it is such a departure and feels so weird and different just from the first viewing, I think that's a really good sign because it means that we're going to have a new experience, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like I remember way back with Monster Hunter 4 when they showed a tech demo of like being chased by a T-Rex and then jumping down in destructible environments, climbing up, using the hunting knife on the edge, and then a Rathalos coming in, and it was like, what in the hell is this? Like it seemed so bizarre at the time. But that was like adding verticality to the game, and it was amazing. And it was just a little taste. And so like I see this, it feels like Guiding Lands 2.0 again, but like I don't it feels different. And there's no cat. And I don't think it's because there's no cat in the game. I think it's they just didn't choose to show it right
Yeah, they
now.
didn't choose to show it because I would expect there to be a Palico. Or
Yeah.
maybe you have to choose between having
Otherwise,
the Palico and
I
having
give
the
up playing
mount.
Monster Hunter and I will become a Hello Kitty Adventure World YouTuber, and that's the rest of my life.
If it's not multiplayer, you're saying you're like
No,
no.
no, no, no Palicos. I'm out.
Oh,
No,
if it's no Palicos, you're out. That's it. Needs Palicos. Monster Hunter without Palicos. Gaijin's out.
no, I'm out.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I
because
wouldn't mind if they take them out but give us a Prowler game. I would be happy. That would work. I want a Prowler game. I've been recently going back and actually doing a few hunts in Generations
in
Ultimate
GU.
just for old time's sake. I really love playing as a Prowler. I really do. So
Prowler is a ton of fun, but I still prefer playing as a hunter myself.
yeah, so I would just say my message to those who watch it and they're like, this feels awkward. Like you're
Feels
not alone.
different. Yeah,
It feels different for me too, but
it feels
that is
different for
what's
all
exciting.
of us. Yeah, but that's a good
That's
thing.
exciting. Like Capcom, his Monster Hunter team never delivered. They've always delivered, right? And track record for a team matters. And
Pretty
I've always
much.
said that. Again, they've nailed it every time. So they get my money before I even need to see a trailer. Like until they prove me wrong, they've got me. So I think there's a little too many lightning rods. It kind of made it feel like Horizon Zero Dawn type of like like little turret towers? Like, are we gonna go around like
That's the
Assassin's
thing.
Creed and
I think
activate them all? Like, I don't want that.
I think there's going to be a mechanic to it. There has to be a mechanical aspect to it because you see the lightning
There's
rods,
so many
and
of
then
them,
you
though.
also see that one of those herbivore dudes, he can get affected by the lightning as well, and
Yeah.
those little spikes that he's got on the back. So I
Yeah, I
don't
didn't
know what.
realize that. Like, someone said, like he becomes the lightning rod, and my eyes were just like, "Oh my god, did you see the minerals on his back? It turned into an ore. I want to go mine it."
Oh
But
no, no, I don't
I don't
think
think
that's
that's the
it.
intention. I was like, "That's
No.
macalite. That's how it's made."
Yeah, lightning strikes an animal, and it's like now it's macalite. Let's go.
That's an earth crystal. Give me that.
We need to go get that. Get some armor spheres and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah, and I could see where like having tons of small monsters is not exciting for people who only care about
the
the
big ones.
arena,
Yeah,
like you versus boss, which is me as well to an extent. But until we see the full breadth of the game, don't knock it until you know what you're looking at, right?
it makes you wonder if they haven't done something as densely populated as this before is because their engine technology hadn't caught up to it yet, and they were like, oh, we want these things to feel massive. Because like
Yeah.
one of
I mean, look at who the director probably is. Like, this has to be Tokuda, right? Like he did World. I'm sure this is him. And we've talked about him a lot in the past, and like he has that grand vision of a living, breathing world. Like that's been his vision for Monster Hunter since he played the first game at Tokyo Game Show and decided to join Capcom to make it better.
yeah
Like redesigning the monsters to be more realistic, having a more rich environment. Like it all seems like what you say, the part of the plan.
the the thing also is like, because again, I keep watching this thing on loop and I'm always thinking about new things, but like if you look at the sheer scale of the map that is
Yeah.
being shown and you compare that to
It,
say the ancient forest, which is a massive map, but it's like the ancient forest compared to this almost feels claustrophobic. Like there's just so
yeah.
much map here. The scale is absolutely friggin' insane, which is why they're like, oh, we have this scale, so now we can fill it up with a bunch of like herds of monsters and whatnot. And it
Yeah.
makes
So
sense.
yeah, I'm curious what's gonna happen when we have the one-on-one in the middle of that. Is it gonna feel like the old games with a bigger arena, or or is the environment always gonna keep us on the move? I don't know.
I hope we have to stay on the move. I think it makes more sense because I mean, Rathalos isn't going to keep fighting you when he can fly. It's like, oh, I'm losing. Screw this. I'm flying. Maybe you even
Yeah.
need like specific mechanics to get them off the air or something. I don't know. But that will definitely be interesting
Mm.
because like I can see so much potential for how the hunt goes in here because it's not just, oh, we fly here, there's an arena, like you have a map and there's like 5 different arenas in that map, and you already know, okay, if he's going there, he's going to this arena, if he's going here, he's going to that arena. You can even get there before they do. Whereas with
Yeah.
something like this, as open as this, it just opens a lot of possibilities for how to do combat
The
and how to
atmosphere is
engage in the
great though.
hunt.
I,
Yeah.
I I I love that. I think the environmental atmosphere is great. Being able to glide around is cool. Big maps cool. But then it just goes into, hey, is small and medium monster fighting going to be integral, and the large monster is going to be a more lesser special thing, or what? I don't know. I have no idea.
We don't know. But I think
But
the
I'm just
focus will
happy
still
it's
be
not.
big monsters.
Yeah, of course it's Monster Hunter, right? So I'm just happy that it's not like just like, oh yeah, that's cool, Monster Hunter 6. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like,
it gets you thinking. That's the beauty of it. It's not like, oh, here's
yeah,
like 2 monster fights. Look, it's just like Monster Hunter World. Like what they show here is very
yeah.
different. Like
I will throw
there's
out
clearly.
there though, like if that is a bowgun, like I think it is, and I know it is, like that. I had a small little moment of trauma where I had to like, put some cold water on my face because that's the base slap design that they used in World for a lot of those light bow guns where
The
they just hit the slap.
pasties.
I'm like, I don't want that. Get that out of.
Yeah, no,
I
no.
want designed weapons. I don't want any of that. Get
I
it out.
remember we used to call a name. It was Randy Pitchbone because for some reason we were making fun of Randy Pitchford. And so there was a dude at Capcom who's called like Randy Pitchbone, and it's like whenever it came to designing weapons, he would go in there and just ruin everything. Like the Brachydios gun lance, you look, it's like, what is this? The Glavinos gun, what have you done?
Well, the
You
other thing
monster.
that I mean, I won't lie. The other thing that got me, and this just shows how traumatized I am from that whole ordeal, was the final key visual, the final key shot. You've got like the rods, right?
Yeah.
The one on screen right looks like a damn lance. Like there was that like really generic like just like metal pole lance that they had in Monster Hunter World.
Mm-hmm.
It looks just like it.
Maybe
It looks like a slap-on lance with a little mud on the bottom. Look, it's a Baroth lance.
Maybe lance users can become lightning rods too. Imagine like He-Man. They put the lance up, lightning strikes. He-Man. Lance mains become He-Man, dude, and the masters of the universe. Oh my god. No, but it's like there's really not much more to go on when it comes to Wilds at this point.
Can I give you the most controversial opinion though?
Give me.
I didn't need to see Rathalos again. Let him. I know he's the series flagship, but like retire his ass. I'm bored of him. Unless he's doing something new, I'm kind of like.
Listen.
He's in every single game. Like, and his drop rates are shit for me.
I told
you. I tell you the same. I told you about Monster Hunter 3G, and I had to do 102 G rank, freaking Rathalos, in order to get my first goddamn mantle or whatever. Like, I never made any of the Azure Rathalos stuff. I have no affinity for this monster. He's a stingy little biatch. I mean, I don't know how else to put it.
I just want to point out.
I'm not a fan.
Just want to point out this by the same man that just says, no Palicos, I quit.
Well, they evolve, unlike Rathalos. They're always different. They do different stuff.
Hey, Rathalos did different stuff in Sunbreak. He had like his little flame breath attack that he did.
Man.
Yeah. But
I mean, it's fine. He's there, but I think
I like Rathalos, dude. He's like one of my favorite monsters. What's the big deal?
Actually, looking at a still of this, I know that there's a shadow of him and everything, but I wouldn't doubt that he's faked in there right now. Like, this could be a composite. He might not even be integrated yet.
Oh, you mean like the AI is not ready to have a Rathalos?
Yeah, maybe he's on a translucent background. They just put him in.
He's in a green screen.
They faked him in.
Chroma key that Rathalos in there.
I mean, look at this thing we're riding. It looks almost like a Macau. It's got great colors. There's that horrible slap-on bowgun. We'll ignore that. The greatsword looks great.
Yeah.
And then you just got Rathalos just flying in the air like, yep, it's me again.
Stop.
It's Bob.
Stop being mean to Rathalos, okay? Rathalos didn't do anything
Bob.
to you. Bob? Really?
Bob.
Randy the Rathalos. Roy the Rathalos. Something with
I don't dislike him, but I think if you're gonna show a large monster, like
you should show Basil Goose. I agree. Yeah, Basil
yes.
Goose is the way. Yeah.
You're flying in.
Just shows up, drops a couple pine cones. Basil Goose is the best monster, dude. The best monster.
Plus, Rathalos is a lazy SOB. Did you notice he's flying in the direction that the gales were going? He's just riding the winds.
He's just floating.
He's not even putting in effort.
He doesn't have
just
to.
Like shoo.
He's awesome. Jesus Christ!
I want to see his hate. No, I want to see him accidentally run into a lightning rod and fall down like an idiot. Like those candid camera videos where they just like walk with his cell phone and hit in the wall or something. Or I want to see him get struck by lightning and fall out.
What if that's a mechanic to get them out of the sky?
Lightning rod in the path that they normally go to their nest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they just flying right.
I would have clips for days of me dropping them down through lightning bolts.
I can already see like Kanta
5-part breaks.
And
Seth would have a blast.
Kanta, Seth, Sunhee Legend, all of them like just doing clips of killing stuff with lightning. That'll be some awesome times. But yeah, that's Monster Hunter Wilds. That's our speculation so far. I guess we can touch up on the game.
But we're not going to be able to talk about this for like another half a year.
No, we're gonna come up with more theories. I'm sure people are gonna.
I'm sure there's gonna be some type of media interview where they say something. and
I mean,
we'll
listen,
snatch it.
I'm gonna call Jono, and I'm gonna put him through the ringer. It's just that simple. I'm gonna
Yep.
squeeze blood out of him until I get all of the
Actually,
juice.
Jono's not your man. I think he tweeted out who the community manager is
No,
leading
no,
up
no.
on this
He
one.
is. He is for you.
Oh, he's for EU, right?
For
Yeah.
you, and then there's the other dude that does the U.S. stuff.
Hey, and
Yeah.
you know who the community for Japan is? Community manager position doesn't exist in Japan. Are you crazy?
I thought you were gonna say it's that that
We got
comedian
the
guy.
legal department that likes to take down videos, but like no, that whole concept is still lost in this country, unfortunately. But
Oh, the video takedowns. Have you heard about that?
yeah, I have. Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it, but I figure may as well.
Yeah,
Briefly?
yeah, definitely. Like I talked about it a little bit yesterday. Because like the thing is, when this happened was the day where I was like hit with the sickness the most. So I was pretty much
Yeah.
offline. Like I was like, bro, I can't deal with anything. I'm dying inside. Stop. I don't care. But you know,
Yeah.
yesterday people brought it to my attention. I saw some of Super Rad's tweets and whatnot, and there's apparently been 10 content creators that have been affected by that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean for the skinny, I guess, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that someone in Capcom legal's department's having fun, or some company they hired is having
Oh
fun.
yeah, wait, sorry.
And
I need
striking videos.
I need to set this up for people that don't know what the thing is.
Yes, you do it. You do it.
So
Yeah.
the context is you guys know how people do mods in Monster Hunter. And, Capcom's always been a little bit like, yeah, we don't really mods and stuff. They don't really engage too much when it comes to mods and emulation or any of that stuff. And it is like, I think it's written in the official website that they consider it cheating. Anything that is not an approved mod.
The worst possible
considered
translation and
cheating,
most
yeah.
awkward Japanese ever at their GDC or whatever, say like,
Yeah.
it violates public morale.
Yeah,
It's horrible.
something
cheating,
like that.
yes.
So basically what happened was a couple of days ago, I guess, a bunch of creators that do mod stuff in Monster Hunter were receiving actual copyright strikes, not copyright claims. Copyright claims, you get those a dime a dozen. It's not usually a big deal and you handle those. Copyright strikes is the type of shit that will delete your channel. That is
I
like
had to
that's
scare myself
the nuclear
with that.
option right there. The copyright strikes are very serious business when it comes to YouTube. And so when I first heard about this, I was like, okay, so this has to be the Japan branch. I don't see in any way like the US branch or the European branch being like, oh yeah, let's copyright
attack our
strike.
community.
Let's attack this community that we've worked so hard to build and to, try to form some type of relationship with. Let's just go ahead and strike their videos. This seems like a good idea. And as a matter of fact, people were saying that like most people were able to get the strikes sorted out, but I think they had to delete the videos. Through community managers or whatever, apparently they were able to like sort everything out and not keep the strikes on the channel. But yeah, it's a rough situation. But keep going. You were gonna say?
Yeah, and my views on this have actually changed quite a bit. Believe it or not. And it's because of Final Fantasy 14. I've never been exposed to a modding community or just the concept of modding, right?
Okay.
Like it's never like I always thought that most of the mods were, invasive effects other people's gameplay, has no place whatsoever in an online game.
Oh, that was
And
your
that would
view,
be-
like in the past?
Yeah, because that's what we had happen in Monster Hunter in the past. Like we had guild quests that would break people's save data and just horrible stuff going on.
Okay, you guys.
So like
experienced
my
the
view
worst part of it.
view was not really modding. It was thinking, if it's a single player game, do whatever the hell you want. I really don't. I think it's fine. Whatever. Unless you're doing something illegal like unlocking DLC that technically should be paid for, or you're doing something that affects someone's online experience, whether it's running a nude mod or running a cheat that allows you to react faster. Anything that infringes on that is wrong.
There's also a theory. Did you hear about what happened in that Street Fighter tournament where one of the organizers apparently had a mod where Chun-Li was naked? And so this is like an official tournament, and then suddenly the fighters start
Jesus.
fighting, and there's a naked Chun-Li on screen, and people are going like, whoa.
Whoa.
Like, people are speculating that potentially that is one of the reasons why Capcom's like, hey, what the fuck, you guys? Stop. Okay, stop. Just don't
Yeah.
do this. It's almost like there was also a time where people would have nude mods in 14, and Yoshi P came out and he had to say, look, guys, you do whatever you want, but please don't make nude Lalafels. That's fucked up.
Yeah. So like, I mean, that was my view, right? So like, and there's never been really good any like data mining or screwing with data has always been bad in Monster Hunter, and it's an
Yeah.
online game. That being said, so like it's weird. You say like, but there are people who enjoy it for visual reasons, right? Which is a crowd that I never understood because I was never part of a game that did that. But like being able to enjoy different skins for your weapons or your characters and taking screenshots and just G-posing all day and stuff like that, like I get that, and that's an innocent, if anything, that's a more engaging way that players keep themselves playing your game. I mean, so I understand, like, I still think it's a tough subject, right, with a game that's multiplayer. So, I think
it is
Square
definitely
Enix has a pretty good stance where it's like, look, a lot of this stuff is innocent and fine. Some of it is not, though, and we can't distinguish between them, so we have to do a broad stroke. I think going after channels and striking is the wrong way to do it.
Yeah, I don't think that's the right way to do it.
I don't understand why in 2024 you can't have a program that does data validation. Like, hey, did you alter any of the textures? Did you do that? Did you do that? Or is this different? And then they just issue warnings, like if you go online with that stuff, or they can ban you or something, right? Like, as long as you're not online and you're not sharing it publicly, it shouldn't matter. But
the thing is, if you modify your textures, that's your client. When you go to somebody else's game, it doesn't show.
Yeah, they wouldn't see it.
Like if you have a naked hunter and you go to somebody's game, they're not going to see it.
Yeah, they'll just see
unless they have the
texture.
same mod installed, at which point that's on them. So
yeah,
I just want to point out one quick thing. I remember when I first told you about G-pose and you were like, no, this is too complicated for me. I just want to hit the screenshot button. And now you're out here talking about, oh yeah, G-posing with different weapon skins and doing. It's like, bro, you know more about G-pose at this. You know more about G-pose at this point than me. But anyway, my view.
But there is one thing I was not. I'm sorry. Before I forget, like, there's one point of modding that I'm so stupid and summer child naive. I did not realize it existed. That I was exposed to this time, which was, I didn't realize that some speedruns and videos, like determining spawn position and stuff like that, I thought it was really just like, I've been watching Summoning Salt for years. I think, okay, people just keep redoing their runs until they get the setup, like that's the RNG. But like hearing about mods for spawn locations and stuff like that, I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, is that what the speedrun community does?
Oh, yeah. Of course, they want to remove the. As a matter of
fact,
I'm
not judging, not my cup of tea, but like I did not know that. And then Chris brought up a good point, right? He's like, look, we've disclosed in our descriptions that we use something for a video, and that's called being, clean and honest about something.
Yeah.
But now they got a video struck or something because they had it in the description, or at least that's the theory. So it's like, what are we no longer able to disclose it because it puts us in danger?
See, that's another thing that I was thinking, because I've been thinking about a lot about features that I would want for the next Monster Hunter, and not just features that I would want, but features that'd be cool to have. And one of those features. No,
I'm joking.
That was one of those features that I was thinking about, which is like a speedrun mode, wherein you don't get materials from the monster. You get like I don't know, maybe you get like Zenny or something, I don't know, but you can set the parameters yourself, where you can be like, okay, I want the monster to spawn here, I want it to have modified
largest size possible,
not largest size or smallest size, because usually they like getting the less HP to do it faster and whatnot, and no randomness on food buffs, none of this stuff, and you can just have a mode like that. And that way people don't even need to mod it. They don't have to worry about it.
Man, you could have a whole community, and then and you can even have like a frame counter, like where it tells you how many frames it took to do it or whatever, like seconds or whatever. Like, you could have a really good community tool there. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
You should come. Are you listening? This is a good idea. And then you can have like, like the Halo 3 Forge mode where you can like go in and do a replay and see it at different angles and stuff. Like, you imagine the amount of content they can get out of that?
The
Oh,
replay of a hunt, that would be amazing. But I think that's going to be rough,
yeah.
especially on an open world game. That'll be rough. But
I don't know. Halo 3 did it.
yeah, but
It
Halo,
was awesome.
yeah, it's a
Halo
different
3
game.
on Xbox 360. Full
But
free camera.
as I was
Okay,
saying,
sorry.
my thought on the whole modding situation, as always, is like, look, whatever you do in your single player game, I don't care. You bought it, you cheat on
Yeah.
it, you install 50 different mods. I don't think that's a problem. If you want to record it, I don't think that's a problem either. Put it on YouTube, don't care. Teach people how to do it, don't care. It doesn't matter. To me, the problem is always when you cross it into the multiplayer modes. That I don't like. Like, if even if it's just like, say, oh, I cheated in consumables or something like that. I was like, no,
I don't like it.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan when you bring that type of stuff into the multiplayer scene. But each player their own, whatever. It's just usually I would avoid playing with people that do that type of stuff. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. But I don't know. Capcom's got to figure it out, because for a company
Yeah.
that's embracing PC as their main platform, like,
ooh, yeah,
doing ban hammers on your overseas audience, where honestly the amount of brand damage or whatever is so minuscule.
Is there even
it's
brand
like,
damage in Monster Hunter if somebody decides to upload a video with a naked
no, I think
hunter or
it's like
something
you're
like
no,
that?
I think
Not a big
it's the
deal.
things like you're saying, like the sanctioned event and naked Chun-Li's, like that's a
Yeah,
really bad look.
that's the problem. That I agree.
But
Like that.
but you don't
is
go
an
around
issue.
stomping everybody to death just in
Yeah,
case
because
that
of that.
happens.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it's a weird
It kinda-
situation,
it
yeah.
kinda
But I feel
sucks,
bad
but-
for anybody affected, and I hope
Yeah.
whatever it is, they get it sorted.
Yeah, reach out to the community managers. Apparently, they're figuring it out. You got Jono in EU, and I forget the name of the dude that's in the US. But
Yeah. I think the communities
Jono
in
did
most
a
games are really
post.
good, as long as there's
Yeah.
clear guidelines,
Jono did a post on Twitter where he talks about the two people that are handling Monster Hunter. So, like, if you've been affected by these copyright strikes, talk to them. They can probably help you figure that stuff out. They've always been very forthcoming with the community. I've never really seen something that I was like, oh, this was really bad. Like, they've always been super chill. So I'm pretty sure you can sort that out, hopefully. But
Yeah.
Capcom
Fingers
Japan really needs to figure out, like, hey, maybe let's not just throw out content strikes out of nowhere. Maybe we start with a warning or a copyright claim or something, and then we figure it out from there. Copyright strikes aren't a joke, and they can end somebody's livelihood. It's something
Yeah.
that you got to keep in mind. And for me, it doesn't affect me because I usually don't do mods, but I'm also not against mods for people that want to do something different. Like, I know, for instance, that Rage Gaming did a bunch of like modded monsters in World and Iceborne, because like they had like a White Fatalis and all of these different things. So there's tons of modded monsters that I remember seeing them cover. I hope they didn't get affected by that, but yeah.
Yeah, unfortunate situation. So fingers crossed they get it resolved.
Anyway, let's do a
Yeah.
real quick
Really
update on
quick, yeah, because it's late.
Yeah, it's late. Gaijin needs to go sleep, and I'm still feeling sick. So, but the Game Awards. What'd you think about it?
That was great. I mean, overall, I agree with everyone's sentiment that there should be more time.
Your lover won
No.
the best.
I know. And he had one of the. It's so rude that they usher everybody off the stage now. Like, he had a really good speech, like a really good one.
Yeah, I thought it was awkward the way that, like, I was even telling people, like, look, right now Jeff Keighley's in backstage. He's got a big red button that just says "wrap it up," and that just cues the music and says "get the fuck off my stage." Like, after what Christopher
it's just
Judge
so funny
did.
because, like, yeah, because he's like, he jokes about, hey, I went 7 minutes, har har har. It's like, okay, you just destroyed the format for everybody.
Yeah,
And now they're just rushing people
joke.
off before they can say anything. It's just like, really? Like you're spending all this time for Samsung ads, but you can't have someone give a 20-second speech on winning the award of a lifetime? Like, come on now. Like,
Dude,
I
what
agree with
about
that sentiment, but I still like the show. Even with all of its dumb quirks, I'm happy there was no security issues this time. The games shown had a great variety. I thought the games that were announced, obviously it's going to be hit or miss depending on what you like. But for me, the sleeper one was the new game that's being made by the devs of Dead Cells. That looked fun.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I remember the name of that. I think
Win
it's is it
something?
No Rest for the Wicked? No, it's
No, no, no.
Windsbound.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, that one
But
looked
that
cool.
looked
Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah, I like the
FF16
animation.
DLC. Already finished the first DLC that
I
just came
haven't
out today.
I
It was
haven't even
great.
had a chance to play it, dude. I need to play that
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm not talking about it, but my advice to anybody here who has FF16, you know the name of the DLC probably, or you'll see it. Don't read anything about it in the shop. Don't look at any of the images. I bought it without even knowing what the theme was. I didn't even, I had no idea. I just oh yeah, DLC, yeah, I'm on it. And I played it, and going in blind was so great. So, I highly recommend that you try to do that. That was fun. And it seems like the really big DLC is going to be next year.
With some story stuff and whatnot. Did
You
you?
know, new mana game was unexpected. I mean, that's something I liked when I was younger. I don't play it anymore, but Hellblade 2, man, I've been looking forward to that like crazy. And
Hellblade 2 looking awesome.
Yuna, my daughter, finally played through Hellblade. She said, "I want to play that game," because she was really getting
At
into Norse
12.
myth. She's 14, dude.
Oh, she's 14 now. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I keep
she's a
forgetting
young
that
adult.
time passes.
Yep.
Time actually
So,
passes.
I mean, she's gonna be playing Baldur's Gate 3 later this month. You want to talk about mature
Oh yeah,
stuff?
she's gonna be having sex with Asterion.
Yes, but like Hellblade 2, she played the game and she loves it. It was really good. Like the puzzles are great, the theme, the music, everything. They had I really liked the theme song. They did a stage performance of it, which probably made everybody go what the hell's going on here? Because it was such. They're so geeks about it. I love it.
No, but they messed it up. They messed up the audio mixing. I don't know if you're paying attention, but the audio mixing in the show was terrible. Like all of the music performances were super flat because they didn't do proper audio mixing. I instantly noticed it in that presentation, because when you have a band like that does that type of music, you always want to have really heavy drums. So they bang on them, so and there was nothing. It was super flat. I was like, wow, you guys really messed up the mixing on this. And then it just kept going, like all of the other musical presentations. Like the music was good, but it was flat. There was no proper mixing. It was really weird for me. But did you
Yeah, and then
did you hear the joke that Christopher Judge made about Call of Duty?
no, what did he say?
Jesus.
I have to say that I never got to watch the full game show. Like I had work. It was in the morning on a weekday, so I'm working and I'm side eyeballing the show, so I didn't get to see all of it. But
at the start of it, it's like you said something about his speech last year, and it was like, hey, my speech last year was longer than this year's Call of Duty campaign. And he goes like, well, that's another company I'm never working for again. Bro, when he says that, I was like, oh my God, the sick fucking burns on this man.
Jesus.
Oh, that was good. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. No, but I wanted Ben Starr to win, though. I wanted him
to win, but
he's such an amazing dude.
They both should have won.
They were both very good.
Both great.
Yeah. Neil knew.
Any one of them could have won, and I would not have been like, oh my God, it was robbed.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. Like, Newbond was like my second choice, because here's the thing about Asterion is like the fact that he was able to make me hate Asterion with as much passion as I did is such a good performance. If he makes me hate him, I would die for him. I did. It was amazing.
I'd die for him.
Okay.
We're totally opposite ends of the pool on this character, but he also did a lot of voice direction for the game as well. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh no, I wasn't aware.
Yeah, he did voice direction. He was really involved.
Was the lady that was sitting next to him that looked like Shadowheart, was she the Shadowheart voice actress? I hope it was.
No.
It wasn't?
No.
She looked just like Shadowheart.
I think, I don't know who they were with, but I have a feeling that it was. They mentioned for the game of the year in the speech that they lost members of their team, especially like a really prominent member, and it doesn't sound like they lost him to old age or anything. So
that sucked.
Neil looked like he was like crying during it, because like it's just painful but also proud for them, because it speaks to the accomplishments they did. So I have a feeling that he was there supporting. I think it may have been his wife or friend or brother. I have no idea, but they all seem really close. So
Sven also took out his armor, which is cool. Sven just shows
I
up
know.
in armor.
What's the backstory behind that? Do you know it? I don't.
I mean, at one
all.
point,
I'm one of the new mainstream people. I don't.
During
my first Larian game, my first TRPG.
During the development of Baldur's Gate 3, he would often, they would do these developer diaries because that game was in early access for like 3 years or something like that.
Years, yeah.
And so they would be doing these updates, and Sven would just show up in full plate armor. Like, that's it. He was just like, "Yep, let's do an update," and it is what it is. He also had like a health potion and whatnot. Like, he had all of these crazy things. He would just show up like that. And to me,
I love
I'm just super happy that game won, because it's one of those things where you have so many people in the industry now pushing the narrative as like, well, in order for the game to make money, we need to do microtransactions here, and we need gotta have a zillion microtransactions. And he's like, no, we don't do that. No, it's all good. You buy the game, you get the game. It is what it is. I bought just to support them more than anything. I bought the PlayStation
Physical?
Collector's Edition, whatever. It's €100 or whatever the fuck. I was like, yep, sure, I'll buy that. Fine. I want a physical version of it anyway. So yeah.
Did you try the new patch? Like, I won't.
No, I haven't.
Added in. They've been improving the game a lot, but they added in a patch that was like 3,000 lines of dialogue. It's a whole ending, an epilogue that they added, and it's like huge. Yeah, and it's amazing. I'm just
I've been waiting. I'm like, okay, I played the game once. I had a couple of disappointments in some aspects of the game. I still mostly love the game. I think the game is really good. I know that I have a clickbaity title in my channel. That's clickbait because it's YouTube, and I'm sorry, but it's like, I still love the game. I still think the game is awesome, and it's like I want to go back to it, and I want to do the Dark Urge playthrough thing. It's just I'm letting them cook. I'm like, let them cook, let them really flesh everything out, and when I feel like there's way more stuff, then I'm gonna go back in, play it again.
Yeah.
That's the way that I want to do it.
In 2 more weeks or so, when it comes out in Japan, I mean, we're gonna co-op it. It's gonna be awesome.
That's gonna be freaking sweet, dude. So, real quick, there was
for me it was cool. There's a bunch of other stuff. What games caught your eye?
So there's a game called Exodus, which gave me some serious Mass Effect vibes. And I know you're into Mass Effect, right? If I remember correctly.
I liked Mass Effect 1 and I adored Mass Effect 2, and I hated the franchise afterwards. So
okay. But it's like, if they captured that vibe, I was like, bro, it's a game called Exodus, so I'm curious about that.
Okay.
They're putting out some God of War DLC as well, which is going to be free.
What was up with that? It's a free update.
It's a free
in a few days?
roguelike mode or something that you get to play.
Oh, it's a mode. It's not like a DLC thing.
It is a DLC. It's a free DLC, but it plays in like a roguelike fashion. I think there's something along those lines. Again, I was watching this at like 3 a.m, so I might be missing something, but I think it's kind of like roguelike. Like, death is an actual part of the mechanics of the game, because he dies and dude that's smelling his ass, Mimir, goes like, it's a part of the process. But yeah, so that's interesting. There was this game called No Rest for the Wicked that was also pretty cool. Although I'm gonna be real, I kind of no, I know which one it is. Yeah, No Rest for the Wicked is one that's like an RPG, really super stylized action RPG. Looked very interesting.
Yeah.
Sega straight up announced a new Jet Set Radio-like game, a new Golden Axe, a new Streets of Rage, and a new Crazy Taxi.
Wow.
Yeah, they just did like 4 or 5 announcements. I don't even remember all of them. I just pointed down Sega stuff because I plan on doing like a summary of the Game Awards later or whatnot. There was the Visions of Mana game, like you said. Rise of Ronin, rest in peace, because it releases on the same day as Dragon's Dogma. That is a terrible decision, dude. God damn. But yeah, there was another one called First Berserker Kazan, looked interesting. Last Sentinel, Mecha Break. Apparently, Armored Core 6 did great, so now there's another. No, they probably were developing this before. It's going to be co-op though, so it'll be interesting. And then I think one of the ones that caught my eye the most was Light No Fire. You know what that is?
Yes, it's the one that I could have swore was going to be the Dauntless logo at the end. It looked like it was a Dauntless logo when it was coming out. I'm like,
No,
but it's not. It's a completely different studio.
no, it's from Hello Games. It's from the guys who made No Man's Sky. You ever played No Man's Sky?
No, but I've read and heard much about it. But I've
So
heard the game is baller now, so
yeah, it's the game's actually fantastic now. But like No Man's Sky did a universe, right? Light No Fire, they're doing one planet.
oh nice. So they're just focusing it.
Yeah, they're just focusing on one planet. Looks like it's got some fantasy elements to it. It's got some sci-fi elements to it. It looks insane. Like I'm totally here
good.
for it. Yeah. But yeah, that's the Game Awards. That's Monster Hunter Wild. Gaijin's looking to go get some sleep. I'm looking to go puke or something because I feel sick as hell.
Yeah, tomorrow we're doing more raids, so
yep.
More FF.
Have fun with that. But thank you all very much.
But now you No, I'm sorry. It's the lag on Discord's horrible. I'm getting like
Discord's terrible.
It's like the ping is worse than like my ping to the European servers of FF. It's like really bad. So
yeah.
Sorry. No, I was just gonna say now you will never unsee Eureka the next time you look at Monster Hunter Wilds.
Probably if anybody's playing 14 and Monster Hunter, they'll be like, oh my god.
What would you do if they announce like, they always have like Hyper or Tempered or whatever and they call it Notorious? Wouldn't that be hilarious?
That would be funny. Notorious is the name of the monsters that you summon in Eureka. For people that don't know, yeah, that'd be pretty funny. Notorious monster. You've killed this amount of monsters. Now Notorious Rathalos has spawned.
Shows up. He's gonna
and you have
like a 1-on-1.
Yeah.
With like Baja.
It's like an extreme version, yeah. But anyways, team. Okay. That is going to be it. Man. It's always amazing chatting with you, Gaijin. That's going to be it for today's Third Fleet podcast. We'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong, stay safe.
And happy wild hunting.
Apple wild hunting?
I meant to say happy wild hunting. That came out weird.